Been a while since we've been here together.
Yes.
All right. Today is day number 5. And hi, everybody. It's Leah.
And
What's your name?
she doesn't let me do this anymore. And I'm Ron.
With?
A Q&A.
Family Heritage Living.
Sorry. She doesn't let me do this anymore.
You know, he does the devotions and he's really relaxed. He gets behind the camera and he says
Nothing. As little as possible.
So my not letting him do it is inaccurate.
Yeah.
So, all right. So we all have our spots, right? And today it's a Q&A for day number 5 of our 30-day challenge. So some of you have asked some questions and we're going to try our best to answer them. And the children are outside playing, so I think they're playing Mountain Men.
Beating on their drums.
All right, somebody wanted to know, how remote are we? How remote would you say we are?
As far as the way we live or our location?
Probably our location.
Our location is not ultra remote.
Yes and no. I say that's both.
There's a lot of, excuse me, a lot of hunting camps. Probably more hunting camps than
Homes.
There's, a fair amount of seasonal homes.
Right.
So, I guess it's...
To many, it would be remote, I think.
yeah.
But like you could just hear that car go by.
Yeah.
What are we from the road? I mean, our property goes like way back. Is it 1,600 feet back?
Yeah, something like that.
But we are like on what's considered a main road for our area.
Yeah.
Up to the lake, because there's some lake properties there. But most people close down their lake properties. They close down their hunting camps, and they're gone. There's not a whole lot of year-round people on this road.
No.
It is maintained, and we've talked about this in other videos. We picked a maintained road because we are getting older. We knew when we bought the place we were getting older, and we didn't have the equipment for clearing out our own road. So
Yeah, there was properties that are a lot more remote that are on unmaintained roads. Sorry, I'm shaking the camera. Sorry, but yeah, we didn't want to plow miles, miles of road to get in and out, every day or whatever. So.
Also, we've got 17 feet of snow on the average just off of our like ridge or location, because the ridge over gets a lot more snow than us, and then up the peninsula another 10 miles gets the most amount of snow this side of the Rockies. So either way, 17 foot or 23 foot or whatever, it's still a lot of snow.
A lot of snow.
Okay, so I guess the answer to that is we are, but we aren't. Some would say it falls off the face of the earth, and others would say you're living in town.
Well, compared to where we were living downstate, farmland, USA, the amount of cars that went by downstate, I think we had less cars going by.
On our country road.
On our country road.
Yep.
But, down there's multiple roads to get to the same place.
Right. Yep, exactly.
And up here...
If you want to get to the lake, you have to take this road for this area.
Yep, so a lot fewer roads.
Okay, so let's move on to the next question, and this is a random order. What are the age spans of our children, and why?
You answer that one.
I'll answer the first part, you answer the second part. Okay, the age spans are RJ's 28, Josiah, he'll be 29 in April. Josiah is 23, he'll be 24 in July. Zebulon just turned 10 this month, and Simeon will be 7 in July. Now you get to answer why the age span.
Between all 4 of them?
Well, the sets of 2.
Well, I don't think you were real comfortable having another cesarean birth, you know. After your second, after Josiah, you know, at that time 2 was like, I don't know about the limit, but 2 was considered
accepted limit.
Yep. But as the years went on, you know, we didn't decide, but you know, we really didn't want to be missing out on having more children. We always wanted a large family, and just circumstances just didn't work out in our younger years.
Well, to be, I guess, as personal without being TMI, some women just can't have children naturally. We don't, you know, their bodies don't dilate, and that's exactly what my case was. My first labor, I think, was 31 hours with RJ, and he was in fetal distress, and I never dilated beyond 1, which is the normal size of the cervix. So eventually got in, you know, had sent me in for an emergency cesarean after realizing that we were getting nowhere in a very hard labor. And so on the second one, the doctor said, hey, you can try it again. You know, you can try to do natural. And I thought, okay, great, because we want more kids. And one cesarean, you know, let's try to have some natural. Excuse me. Well, that went about as well as the first one. In fact, they lost Josiah's heart rate or heartbeat. And the doctor, but when all was said and done, the nurse said she'd never seen a doctor move so fast. So there's some fear factors there. You know, I wanted to be around for those 2, and I was afraid that a third one, I wouldn't be there for any of them. So with that said, we just made the choice to love the ones we had. We looked into adoption. In fact, we started foster caring classes.
Yeah.
That did not work out because of the age of our home, and we didn't, you know, we had
living in the country is they make it hard for.
They do. It was very disappointing. So, you know, we prayed about all this, and it just didn't seem like things were working out. So we just, you know, told the Lord that, you know, we kind of felt like we were bypassing His will by not trusting Him, if you know what I mean, because our light days are numbered. I mean, that's the reality. Our days are numbered, and no matter what we do, we're not going to extend them, and we're not going to go one day sooner than we're supposed to. Yep. But that doesn't mean that we don't rationalize, and we shouldn't protect certain things, and we shouldn't try to you know, use wisdom, because we should.
Always. But
we did feel that we were shortchanging ourselves by overriding God's will. So I was 37. Which made you 46 when we decided, you know what, this is God's will. And if it's His will for us to have more children, we're just going to let Him decide. And I remember very clearly it was very difficult for a while because nothing happened. And it was heartbreaking. And it was like, you know, one day I just said to God, you know, this is, I don't care if you give us more children. I remember this very clearly. I'm going to serve you regardless. And shortly after, we ended up pregnant with Zep.
Being pregnant.
And then, without trying, we ended up pregnant with Simeon. But with that cesarean, the doctor said there was definitely some issues, and it would be foolish for me to get pregnant again. Yeah. So we just decided we were blessed with 4.
Our quiver's full with 4.
In this cabinet is. So sorry about the emotions, but you know, that's children are such a blessing.
They are, absolutely. They drive me crazy.
Husbands are such a blessing. He drives me crazy.
No doubt. No doubt.
But we would have had a houseful if that was God's will.
Yeah.
We really thought we were going to do that through adoption.
Well, yeah, we went through all, I don't know about all the
No, we didn't
all
go
the steps, but we
through a lot of
started
them,
and got to the point of regulations and this and that, and at least at that time in our location, well water and septic tanks were really frowned upon.
Yeah, they were.
And we couldn't do anything about that. So that is what it is.
Okay. Well, the next question goes in line with this one. Why are your older children, your adult children, still at home?
That would be a good one for them.
That would be, but since they're not here, let's do our end of it, and we actually talked about this extensively a couple years ago on a couple of videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'll try to remember to put them on the end screen. The lighting's bad, so anyone that is not watching our channel for homesteading and doesn't realize we use kerosene lighting, don't worry about the lighting, just close your eyes and listen to the conversation. But we talk a lot. It was a 2-part video. Maybe it was a 3-part video.
That might have been.
We talked with the boys and asked them questions about why they're here. Why aren't they on their own? Mm-hmm. And so let's recap that. And why are our kids still here?
Well, because they want to be.
No, that's true.
Because they want to be. I don't know. Why do they? I don't remember.
We give them no reason to want to be here.
I don't remember what they said, to be honest.
No, but what do you say? What do you say is?
They can, they can. They go about their business as they choose. Obviously, living on the property, we all have our things that we need to do. We all have our own chores and workload and responsibilities. But it's with RJ, it's been quite a while now that if he's got other interests or whatever things that he wants to venture out and do, it's more power to you.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to insert here for anyone that doesn't know. Our children are not freeloading. They work hard for this family. Yeah. And we are a family. And when you're a family unit, you work for the unit. You work together. They're not obligated to do that. No. But, our thoughts have always been, Ron's really big about when they find, when God brings them their wife, that it's time for them to leave and cleave. Now, that may be they leave and have their own place on this property, because that's always their option. But they have their own family. They raise their family. We act as an extended unit. But that's not here. They haven't found that special someone. God has not brought that woman into their lives. Those women.
Yeah, that's
they each get their own.
No sharing.
But so with that said, they're not freeloaders. This isn't. So many people look at this through today's societal eyes, and our life does not conform to today's society. Our life mirrors a past existence. And so you can't, if you're coming in from today's society, you can't understand. Yes, they could go out and get loans and, get into debt and, wouldn't life be great? Well, no, it wouldn't. And they understand that. And we treat them like adults and respect them, but they're still our children. They treat us with respect and don't take advantage of us, and we don't take advantage of them. So it's not like, the kid living in the basement, sitting there playing video games all day long, sucking off mom and dad, or mom and dad making the kids do all the work. It's not that way. It doesn't work that way, and it's not supposed to work that way. So
yeah, they can, they're free to go. If one of them wants to go to wherever and get a job, yeah, that's fine. Get an apartment someplace or run a home or whatever.
That's their choice.
Yeah, that's their choice.
That's-
And I've always told them, that they're always welcome here. They're always welcome here. So that's just the way it is.
Yep. So that's summarizes, I guess, that. I mean, there's some other things that could be added into it, but like Josiah's health issues, that's very difficult. And RJ, and I said we will probably do a video on this. I haven't yet, but I will, and we'll explain it further. But his Tourette syndrome, not that it's not possible to maintain an independent life, but it does make it more difficult. And so that option for him gives him the ability to choose without stressing. There's too many parents that kick their kids out when they're not ready, or there's too many parents that kick their kids out when the kid might just need a little extra help, or there's too many families that just can't wait for him to grow up and get out of here. And it's just that is so wrong.
Yeah, it's not that's not what I felt when I was growing up. My folks had a revolving door, It's not that they invited me back. I just,
took
kept showing up.
But now, on the other hand, he totally had his own life. He really wasn't a contributor to the family.
Well, no,
he said hi, socialized, ate.
Yeah, I came in and ate and went to bed and got up and I was gone. So, yep. So totally different.
Yeah,
totally
it was.
Different.
It was. Okay. Let's see. What are you not doing at this time that you wish you were?
Well, there's probably a lot of different things.
You want me to start naming them for you?
You know my thoughts better than I. Well, we've, for quite a while, we've longed to live the pioneer life. Or in years past, And even though we do live without electricity, without running water, without just modern conveniences as a whole, I don't feel that we are still living up to our potential as far as living that pioneer life.
Right.
And why is that? Yeah, there's probably 100 different reasons, this, that, or the other thing. So I'd like to see us really get into that mindset and that mentality, and it's hard, You're sitting here in front of a camera,
Right. Yeah.
or with our
turn the generator on,
our
work
online
yourself.
business, yes, the generator. So a lot of it's in our minds.
It is.
in a mindset.
So what because folks on the other side, or a lot of will be saying, you're right, you don't live without electricity, and you cook and heat with wood, and you haul your water, you raise a lot of your own foods or needs. What else could you possibly do that would emulate? And when we say the pioneer life, we're talking about a life before the industrialization actually was in the Civil War, but like the after World War One, the industrialization after World War One.
Well, I think I'd like us to provide more of our own for ourselves, rather than relying on stores or canned goods or whatever.
Right.
Things that we can provide for ourselves. And a lot of that stuff we don't. for multiple reasons. You know, one thing is the time that it takes, but that's offset by the nutrition that we would gain from
right,
doing it
yeah.
ourselves and stuff. So, just the mindset thing is, just going through our place and the young children set aside because they like their toys and things and
most of their toys though are manual. They're they don't they're not video games.
Zebulon loves Legos.
Yeah, yes, he does.
And that's cool. I like Legos too.
No, you don't. You hate putting those things together.
Oh, well, some of them are. But I like Legos. And I do like putting them together with them, as much as they drive me crazy.
Well, you're the one I'm talking about was the castle. That was like
Woo!
took 2 full days of both you and RJ working on it.
It did.
That was horrible. Anyways.
But, the plastic toy, and that is obviously not a pioneer thing, but, you can't.
We live in the 21st century now? What's the 20th century last time I checked?
We're not going to strip the younger children of their toys and, things like that. That's, we would encourage the period toys, and they do.
They love those things.
They love those things.
Zebulon loves. Well, that was before I say what he loves. Let me ask you this: what about you've actually said more than one occasion that dress, our apparel, was a significant thing we needed to work towards, and you actually have pretty much an outfit that you wear from time to time, 1800s pants and shirt, and Zebulon does his knickers, and he loves those crazy things. But that goes along with the frame of mind, because if you're constantly, if you got the screens in front of you, or you've got the modern stuff in front of you, and so I know some people that are watching this that aren't our regular viewers would go, why? So what would be the point? Why that particular thing? What do you think? Is it just, how would it enhance? I mean, how living that way does it enhance? Or do you see it enhancing our lives?
Well, because you're really putting your hands to what you're doing is one thing. I think you commented on your laundry. It's not just throwing clothes in a washer and turning the knob or pushing buttons.
Right.
You've got to, plunge the clothes or add hot water and plunge the clothes and rinse them and plunge the clothes and rinse them again if they need to be, and that goes with raising chickens for eggs or for meat, raising whatever animal for a byproduct, if it's milk or meat or whatever. You're there doing it. You're not just going to the supermarket, grocery store, buying a dozen eggs or a gallon of milk. You're putting yourself into that.
Right. But I'm more of an interviewer than a participant here. But modern homesteaders that are watching us say, I do that, and I have all the gadgets and the gadgets.
Yeah, they do. Sure.
So, what draws you to this life?
I don't know. I'm just drawn to it.
Now, this is a good point, or a good place to insert this, our viewers, because I brought it up the other day about a comment that was on a really old video of ours, and I think I mentioned it to you. It was the kitchen tour, one of the kitchen tours down there. We did a few of them.
Right.
And the viewer said, or the commenter said, that the rustic furniture was appealing, but using an ice box and kerosene lamps in the 21st century seems a bit excessive. And their take on the video itself was that I was dragging you and the rest of the family into this lifestyle. Is that accurate?
No, not even close. Not even close. I've been drawn to the off-grid lifestyle. I don't even know if I want to refer to it as off-grid anymore because so many people say that, and they have, their windmills and their solar panels, and all the house is wired and everything. And true, they are off the electrical grid. So I've been drawn to the old way of life for, I don't know, for a long time. Years, I don't know if it stems back to going and visiting great grandpa and grandma with their wood cook stove. One side was wood, the other side was electric.
Sounds like a crazy combination to me, but
grandpa and grandma's house had a, at the time I was just little, but had a huge fireplace in it, so but just living that pioneer life has always appealed to me as long as I can remember. And I kind of drug you along, and when
you planted the seed, and then
I did.
I think you've been shocked at a few things I've.
When we bought the property up here, Josiah didn't have a choice but to come along with us.
Oh, he was young enough where.
But RJ was, like I said, Josiah didn't have an option because he was.
Hey, Molly's being horrible down there. The boys are outside playing, and they made her come inside. So she's watching them through the door, and she's not happy. So that's all the crying going on down there.
She wants to be out playing with them. But we asked RJ, or gave him the option. You don't have to come up here with us. You're more than welcome to stay in the house. Downstate. And did I bring him up here at that point?
I don't remember if you had or not. I think you were on your ready to bring him up here.
He hadn't seen the property yet or anything, and he pretty much had his bags packed and was ready to go, come up here before we got done telling him that, you're more than welcome to stay down here and live in this house. And he didn't want no part of that. He's been, the wilderness type of thing has been, tugging at him as well. He loves being out in the woods and doing his shelters, and
he does. Carving and wood crafting and stuff. And it's therapeutic. I mentioned that RJ has Tourette syndrome, and but all my guys find the woods to be very therapeutic. I find them to be really dirty at times, but that's besides the point. All right, so it looks like we have passed the 30-minute mark on this video. I'm going to try to edit it down. I have more questions, but that'll have to wait for another Q&A, which will be fine because we have another 25 days of this challenge in front of us. And you will be making more appearances in front of the camera besides Devotion.
Well, I really appreciate the invitation today.
Well, you're welcome. Thank you for accepting. It's not like it sounds.
That's not.
He's just picking on me because...
That's what I do.
Yeah, he's going to give me a demerit. All right. Well, we will see you. I will see you guys tomorrow on day 6. And just to remind myself, I have to look back. This is day 5. I seem to forget more and more. I feel like Yogi Bear. All right. We'll talk soon. God bless.
God bless.